Hi everyone, do you hear me? This is Susanne and we will start our webinar about the MBA right now. I just want to guide you through, I'll show you some small rules. Do you see my cursor here, which is on the chat bubble? Please write down your names in this area, tell me, and write also down from where you are attending this webinar. So please go ahead and welcome. I don't see anybody writing. Don't you hear me? There's the viewer. Hi, Onur. I have heard about you. I'm waiting for your CV. Okay. Anybody else? I see many bubbles here. Okay. Hi, Thailand. How are you? Welcome. Good to meet you. Excellent. Hi, Tariq. Hi, Tariq. Please write in the bubble here that you hear me. That's correct. You're all muted because we prefer that you write and ask the questions after the presentation. Correct. I'm the only one who's allowed to speak. Hi, Celine. Welcome from London. Okay, let's wait just a little longer. So, and then we will start. This will be our first EMB webinar, and we're very excited. And we hope we'll be able to respond. Yes, you can see this. Yes, you will also be muted during the question and answer because we prefer that you write down your questions just for recording reasons. Okay. Okay, so let's begin. I'm Susanne Hansen Saral. I have a DBA from the Grenoble École de Management, and I am the EMBA Program Director for 41 North. And
I'm Deniz Saral. I'm the school founding dean at 41 North. I'm also in charge of the Doctorate of Business Administration program.
Okay, so start. Go ahead, Deniz.
Well, I would like to make a brief presentation on the strategic alliance that we have formed between Grenoble École de Management of France and 41 North Business School. Without this strategic alliance and similar alliances with other institutions from Europe, we would not be able to offer you the executive MBA program. We are located in the business heart district of Istanbul called Levent. It's from a distance, it looks like a mini Manhattan, lots of skyscrapers, and a brand new building by Ferco Corporation. We have training facilities that are the envy of many business schools. What about 41 North Business School? Well, we are the first private, unique, and standalone business school in Turkey. There is nobody else like us. We rely on faculty diversity and student participant diversity, both culturally and geographically. This means that 41 North is not only here to serve Turks, but to serve participants from the entire Middle East, Central Asia, the Balkans, the Caucasus, and Eastern Europe. We partner and form strategic alliances with world-class foreign academic partners. Grenoble École de Management is one. The European School of Management and Technology in Berlin is another. And Center for Creative Leadership, which is always in the top 3 in its class since 1970s, is also a strategic partner.
And if I can add something to this, the Grenoble École de Management and ESMT are both triple accredited business schools.
Yeah, we will talk about how important this characteristic is in a few minutes. The school focuses on technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. For this reason, we employ cutting-edge learning techniques and processes, and our building is called a smart building because it responds to its users' needs semi-automatically, and if you come and visit us, you will see what I mean.
Okay, I will talk about Grenoble École de Management. We abbreviated GEM. We normally refer to Grenoble École de Management as GEM. The identity, the DNA is definitely management of technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. They are very close to the business world. They do a lot of tons of research, and the values are, of course, excellency, entrepreneurship, and commitment. And this is also, of course, stamped with a triple accreditation. Their main research areas are health and well-being, energy, climate change, digitization of the economy and society, sharing economy, corporate geopolitics, they're very big in that, and entrepreneurship. Some key figures from GEM. Right now they have around 8,000 students, and they just graduated the 2nd of February, 2,700 students, graduates, undergraduates, masters, and doctoral students, which shows you that added to the alumni. Look at the number of alumni, 33,000. It's a vast network. We'll talk about this a little later. They offer 50 different programs from the undergraduate level all the way to the doctoral level. They have a lot of teaching staff that come from all over the world, and they have guest lecturers that come from the business area. 520 administrative employees. And they have 12 institutes and research chairs, and 270 doctoral students, and that includes P.h.D. students and DBA students.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the GEM is an international network now.
Absolutely.
And on the slide, you can see a red dot on Istanbul, Turkey. And they go as far as Medellin, Colombia, South America, Georgia, east of Turkey.
And here we are.
Moscow.
Here.
Berlin, Paris, Grenoble, Morocco, and the dot on Asia is Singapore.
So those are the campuses where they provide their programs. And they have 7 international offices here in, I think this is Mexico, isn't it?
Well, we forgot to say, yes, they have, of course, the DBA program in 4 different spots in the United States of America. GEM is an international institution. It's not just French, and only for French-speaking people. As a matter of fact, they conduct most of their graduate degree programs entirely in English.
I can see viewer 17. You can't hear. Click on your bubble, and you should be able to hear it from there. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
Oops, here we are. Where is my cursor? Right there. Okay.
Well, the number, again, impressive. 3,300 international students, roughly 41% of the entire student body.
Mm-hmm.
And 47%, almost half, of the professors and lecturers come from outside of France. And there are 159 different nationalities in the GEM community.
And here you can also see how much importance we put on international diversity. Diversity is actually the key word also for GEM. So this is what we can call diversity. Now to the alumni work network. That is actually one of the key factors that students, they look at when they are looking for a degree. How big is the alumni network? And you saw that Grenoble École de Management has 33,000 alumni. They just added 2,700 to it. And they are inspiring because many of these alumni are very active on the social network, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. They share the testimony about their experience at GEM. Our graduates, or GEM graduates, are everywhere in the world.
Well, let me add a couple of words here. One of the key reasons or motives for students to search for an executive MBA program is the quality, the diversity, and the size of the alumni. You're looking for a network. So you need to look for a school that offers you a vast and high quality network, because that is where your future professional development will come from. It's good to be on a campus with classmates for 18 months to 24 months, but after you finish, you want to be a part of this very large network, and one, take advantage of it, stay in touch, and develop yourself professionally.
And often it's also when you have an idea, somebody approaches you in your network. Do you know somebody who does this and that, or is and has knowledge there? Well, that's where the network comes in, and then you link people with each other. And you see how GEM also invests in your side, in the student side, alumni side. They even help you find jobs.
Yes,
there's 600 job offers on average. So they are very active. So being a GEM alumni is good. It's a good thing. Deniz, now awards and ranking.
Well, accreditation of a business school is extremely important. If you're going to invest 2 years of your life plus your money and your effort to get an executive MBA diploma, one, you need to make sure that this diploma has the right standards. And for this reason, today, a top business school simply cannot exist without at least one of the 3 top accreditations. And these are the AACSB of the United States, EQUIS of Europe, and AMBA, which is from the United Kingdom. As we know, the people from the United Kingdom think of themselves as unique. They are not Europeans, they are not Americans, they are British. That's why they have their own accreditation board. Now, Grenoble École de Management has all 3. only 1% of all the business schools on earth today has this ranking.
And with that, it comes that they are under extreme scrutiny by each of these accreditation bodies. And they need to abide to the rules, the requirements of these accreditation bodies in order to stay accredited. So if you think that, oh, wow, they are really tough, for example, on the English proficiency score, well, there is a reason why that is so. I mean, it is them that is, it's in their own interest to follow these rules. Okay. Accreditation is
well, we already said how important it is, and that no one in his or her right mind should consider investing significant sums of money, time, and effort in a school that is not accredited by at least one of these three top accreditation boards. We are happy to tell you that our degree has, Grenoble École de Management also has triple accreditation.
rankings.
When it comes to rankings, it's a tricky ground because you see lists of schools and their rankings by Financial Times, Le Figaro, The Economist, and various other media. Now, how do they on what do they base their rankings? Executive MBA programs are ranked largely on two factors. One, do the graduates, how quickly do the graduates find a new job? Number two, what is the improvement in their financial compensation after the EMBA program? So, this is why rankings of an institution as good as GEM may change from one year to the next because it all depends on the cohort that is graduating from the EMBA program. Some are extremely successful and find much higher paying jobs very quickly, and other cohorts take more time and maybe enjoy a lower increase in salary by changing jobs or companies. So we need to be very careful when we look at the ranking of a business school or a degree program, but a good triple accredited school and their business programs must always be in the top 30. I mean, that ranking may change from 29 to 30 to 31. And also I said 30, but of course it depends also on the size of the field. The executive MBA programs are all over the world. So if you just look at Europe, you find at least 100 executive MBA degree programs. And to be ranked 49, 47, 45th is not a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, Deniz, what is an EMBA program?
Well, let's talk about the difference between a standard MBA versus an executive MBA. Well, it has become so in the last 15, 20 years that a student who graduates from a university is allowed to participate in an MBA program, even though he or she has limited work experience. I remember in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and all the way up to 2000, business schools required minimum 3 years of work experience before they would consider an applicant for admission. Well, the standards have changed, so therefore, even in a very, very highly ranked MBA program, you will not be surprised to find 24, 25-year-olds competing with 28, 29, 30-year-olds for an MBA. Now, most of these MBA programs are full-time, and in America, they take 2 years. In Europe, it is possible to find 1 year full-time programs. Now, that's the MBA. So what is an executive MBA? Well, you were wise. When you finished your university, you didn't jump into an MBA program. You decided to go and work and build up professional experience. And now you feel, I'm ready to do an executive MBA program. One, I'm mature. I have several years of work experience. I know that I need this degree to make a quantum jump, either in my own company or in another company, in another industry, somewhere across the globe. And it is your time. You feel it, you need it, and therefore you're looking for a part-time program so that you don't have to leave your job while you're studying, and you don't want to spend a lot of time, money, and effort traveling across the globe just to attend classes. Executive MBA programs are subject to international accreditation standards. They are not apart from the MBA study world.
Okay. So, is the EMBA for you? Do we meet your expectations? And vice versa, do you meet our expectations? Are you looking for acquiring new competencies? You feel that you have reached the top in your position and you feel you need more competencies in order to get to the next level? You want to develop an international career in Turkey or abroad? Mostly you are already abroad. Or you need new management tools in your current position to consolidate your skills. You just need more competencies. So, then do you meet our requirements? Well, we are looking for a bachelor degree, university bachelor degree. You need to have a minimum of 7 years of professional experience. That is a big requirement because we want each of you to come into the classroom with the same years of work experience, that you will be able to have a tremendous exchange of your experiences from your jobs. And then in the English fluency test, this is a very strict requirement. We need to make sure that your English communication skills are excellent, that's very good, because the communication language in the class is, of course, in English, and you need to be able to get your ideas across, and you will be able to present in perfect English.
Let me add something very important here. A critical component of the EMBA program is the completion of a minimum 15,000 word research report on a conducted project. Now, this is not an easy job. It requires a lot of analysis, for which we give you 6 months. You may consider this as a thesis if you want. We don't call it a thesis, we call it a project report based on consulting, and it requires really fluency in written English and the ability to express yourself. So it's not just the face-to-face meetings in class where you have to make presentations, respond to questions, and participate in a rigorous discussion. But you need to write case reports. You need to participate in online forums and be active and be responsive. Therefore, your comprehension of English and your ability to write English must be really good.
I can see Tarek is already asking a question. He is a chartered accountant And does a executive MBA suit me? Because I would like to extend my services to management consulting.
Excellent question. Yeah. Well, you know, I started my education in accounting. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance, which of course is the language of business, which helped me tremendously in my later studies at the MBA and P.h.D. levels. Now, being a chartered accountant is a very hard achievement. You have to prepare yourself, pass all kinds of tests and so forth. But in this day and age, just knowing accounting systems is just not enough. Yeah. Therefore, you need to brand yourself as a professional. You need to learn how to use general manager and above type of technical lingo and communication styles. And therefore, according to the European, the Economic Forum, World Economic Forum, not at your level, but accountancy, as we know, the bookkeeping part, will simply not exist in 2023 and 2024 as of. You know, when I read that report, that machines, algorithms, and computers will now maintain all accounting records, nobody needs to be in charge. That's a given fact, but a chartered accountant or CPA is way above that and should be a part of management.
So I think that was a fairly good answer. What do you think, Tarek? Are you happy with the answer? Okay, let's proceed. And up to the GEM EMBA program Istanbul cohorts. Well, as we already said, the GEM EMBA program in Istanbul consists of three different elements. The core courses, we'll come to those a little later. They will go over 18 months, and we will use blended pedagogy, which means, well, there will be face-to-face classes every 5 weeks, where you will come to Istanbul, to the 41 North facilities. And before and after the workshops or the courses, you will be busy, you will be active online with webinars. You will communicate, do cases with your co-students, and you will communicate, interact with your supervisor. So this is also what we call hybrid learning. It's the mix between face-to-face classes and then online. Then we have the specialization, and they will start approximately 1 year after the beginning of the program, where you will choose an area of specialization. We have a list, I'll show it to you in a little while. And they consist of 3 modules of 30 hours each. That's 1 week, 3 times 1 week. Then we have the final management project, and that's once you have finished the 18 months of the core courses, you will then sit down and do the final management project on your own. You can do this back in your country. And this final management project will, of course, be based on what you have learned during the 18 months and during the specialization.
And in an area that interests you,
yeah,
because this is your chance to put in writing a thorough analysis of a problem coming from your background or from an area where you did some consulting or you're currently working on. So this is your choice, which project And but of course, we have format requirements. As I said earlier, it has to be at least 15,000 words. So it's a major work of art from you.
Absolutely. And each of these three elements have to be satisfied, of course, in order to have the EMBA diploma awarded. Now there's a question here. I have a tech startup. How will that program help me in my business? Also, I have a concern that I'm very busy as CEO and might not be able to do good.
Well, you're not alone.
I think everybody is worried.
Especially if you are in charge of your own business or you're the CEO of a company. It's clear your days and nights are taken. But you have decided that it is time for you to enter an executive MBA program to develop your professional skills, your leadership style, so that you can do better in the future. Therefore, you're investing in yourself, not in somebody else's future. Therefore, you must take time. And I call this quality time. I used to tell my executive students, you need to tell your family, your business, that on such and such day, I am off the radar, and you won't be able to reach me until such and such day, such and such hour. They get to respect you because you are separating quality time for yourself. Otherwise, you can't do this on the road running every day. You need to put aside a few hours now and then just for yourself, because the Executive MBA program really requires insightful thinking and good responses, not answer on the run, so to speak. Yeah, it is tough to work at such a level, CEO or the manager, owner of your own company, but this is how new learning takes place. We have to learn how to juggle several balls and keep them in the air.
That's what a manager is about. Okay. Okay. So, the program over. Of course, at the end of the webinar, you will be able to access this webinar again. So I'm not going to go over all of these. There are 17 modules, and these are the core modules.
Well, so, these are courses and topics that every MBA program must cover, whether it's for a full-time 2-year MBA or executive MBA part-time. These topics must be covered. Who says so? The accreditation bodies make these changes now and then, and they say to be current, to be effective, an executive MBA student must be exposed to the following topics. No exceptions. Mm-hmm. So that's where the program overview, the core courses, actually come from.
Right. And that's also where we do specialization. So these are the tracks that GEM offers for the time being, and I know there is another one. They are still working on it, but it's management consulting, finance, innovation management, entrepreneurship, project management. I think these first 5 ones will be organized in Grenoble. Digital business, specializing in digital business, will be in Berlin with the GEM partner. Fashion and luxury management, of course, nobody is surprised. This will be organized in Paris.
Wow. So, yes. I mean, when I see these things, I really would like to go and take this specialization 3 times 30 hours in fashion and luxury management in Paris. It's one of the most exciting worlds of business, but who says digital business, project management, entrepreneurship, innovation management, finance, and management consulting are less exciting?
No.
They are not. So this is one part of the EMBA program that really excites participants.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody takes the same core courses, and this is the area where you express yourself.
And the very exciting part about the specialization is that so why is it Grenoble, Berlin, and Paris for the time being? Well, because Grenoble has partnerships in Mendelin and with Moscow and Tbilisi, and their EMBA students come to Grenoble, Berlin, or to Paris, and you will find yourself with other cohorts. So this will be very exciting. Have a very nice exchange there. So that adds again to the diversity.
Well, I'd like to add also one other thing. Since 41 North and GEM are starting their first cohort this fall, give us a couple of years and we'll be able to put another red dot on the GEM network in Istanbul where a new specialization track may be created. We're working on it, but as you know, the earth wasn't created in one day. So we need more time.
Okay. So talk about, well, the program overview, specialization tracks. Well, we already talked about this. Option 1, depending on what area topic you want to specialize in, it's going to be in Grenoble. Option 2, specialization in other campuses, GEM campuses with their partners in Paris and Berlin. And then another thing is, you can actually, if you say, wow, I would also like, I prefer project management, but I would also like innovation management. Well, actually, that is possible. You can do this if you really want after having completed your EMBA with the first specialization. And because you will then be an GEM alumni, you'll be able to get, you will be able to complete a second specialization track with an alumni discount, and that is 5% for the time being. Okay. Now let's look at pedagogy and modules. Deniz, do you want to talk about it?
Well, the key word is highlighted in red. It's participative. This is one program where you can't just sit and watch other people perform, talk, and exchange. You have to participate. In all of these discussions, there will be a combination of theoretical and practical content. And the executive MBA, as the first word indicates, we want to train people on not management theory alone, even though that part is very important and has deep historical roots. But the participants come into an executive MBA so that they can practice what they learn after they graduate.
And you will also see, if you look at the faculty members, some of the faculty members come from pure business areas. And that will be extremely exciting to listening and to interacting with them.
Yeah.
They have a lot of things to
That's for sure. That's why cultural, geographical, and sectoral diversity. You go to some programs in certain countries and you find out that a large majority of the students come from the same industrial sector. They're talking to each other in special jargon, and the minority students who end up in these programs feel left out. So that's one thing you will never experience in this program. Now, we talked about diversity of learning approaches. You know that the old system of you put some people in a classroom and put a learned professor, he or she lectures and everybody else takes notes, and you learn from the teacher, and this transfer process takes over slides and written notes and so forth. Well, that world has gone. We now rely heavily on cases, case analysis, which simulate real business situations. A lot of group work is necessary for that. You don't have to sit in your own whole room somewhere in your country and fight with these learning problems all by yourself. You are going to be a member of a work group.
Yeah, 4 to 5 people.
Yeah. And I underline now the importance of games. These are not games that Mario on a digital screen. We're talking about serious games. And the term serious games was created by Professor Hélène Michel from Grenoble École de Management, who is a world-class designer of games with a purpose.
Yeah.
So when you play these games in innovation, creativity, problem resolutions, negotiation, whatever the motive is, you'll be surprised how much fun it is, first of all.
And effective.
And at the end, when you come out, you say, this was much more effective than brainstorming, for example. The other day, people asked me, well, don't you like brainstorming? Why do you badmouth it? Well, we have a lot of research from academia that shows that brainstorming is not effective. Talkers dominate the discussion, and the participants think they are being creative, but not much creativity comes out of such brainstorms. So, serious games have solved that problem.
Okay, maybe we should just answer some questions here. Do I get to choose to take program between the 3 cities, Paris, Berlin, and Istanbul? Yes, depending on what area of specialization you are looking for. Paris only offers fashion and luxury management. Berlin specializes the specialization digital business, and the others, Istanbul, we have not yet, but we're working on it.
Let me also answer this. If you mean the face-to-face sessions, can I have them in Paris, Grenoble, or Istanbul? There is no choice. If you join the Istanbul cohort, all of the face-to-face sessions, which will take roughly a year, you must come each time to Istanbul. You cannot substitute Grenoble, Berlin, or Colombia, or Moscow, or Tbilisi, Georgia. You must come to Istanbul.
And besides, Paris and Berlin doesn't have a part-time EMBA.
Yeah, that's another point. But Moscow does, Tbilisi does, but they are different cohorts, and therefore the Istanbul cohort requires that you attend all of the sessions in Istanbul.
Yes, and for example, the Moscow cohort and the one in Tbilisi are extremely homogeneous, and some, I think, in Tbilisi, it's sometimes even in Russian. So,
well, in Moscow as well, part of the program is taught by local professors in Russian.
Right.
But Istanbul is not that. We are going to make this as diverse as possible because Istanbul is the gateway. Millions of people go east-west or west-east, and therefore our cohort will be unique.
Thailand, you would love to see an example of the games. I will share some with you. There's Tech It, also by Hélène Michel. She has Cubification, the innovation game. When you hear about innovation, you always think about technology, but absolutely not. Innovation is like how to innovate a new process, a very simple process. Hélène, she is Hélène Michel. The professor at Grenoble École de Management, is a scarce resource for Grenoble École de Management. She goes from big French companies to the other, and they are begging her to help them recruit people, to innovate, to be at the cutting edge with their products.
Let me add something here. The famous companies Volkswagen, L'Oréal, and Michelin. Michelin, we all know, is the tire company. And as a result of playing Alain Michel's game, they were able to come up with a brand new shoe. Has nothing to do with rubber. It's not made from the material that is used to make an automobile tire. But they said they were so amazed that the group came up with this very, very new creative idea as a result of playing the game. L'Oréal uses it differently. They have asked Alain Michel to design one. She did. What they do is when they have, say, 200 openings in L'Oréal worldwide, they invite people from all over the world to play the game online for no less than 2 months. They observe them, and on the basis of certain criteria, they invite a large number of people to Paris for an interview. So this is their tool to reduce 50,000 applicants to 1,000 so that they can then interview them face to face. A recent interview with a Turkish company, a very large one, they faced the same problem. They put an ad in the daily paper for 200 positions. They had 50,000 applicants. Imagine it fills a soccer stadium. Now, how do you differentiate between these people? So, the usual techniques of asking a computer to eyeball critical terms in the CV and the motivational letters and eliminate people on the basis of the applicant didn't use this critical word, therefore it's a niet. Well, these things don't work anymore in this world. So gaming is proving itself to be extremely effective in recruiting the right kind of people. When I say right kind of people, for your own company, do they fit in? Will we be comfortable working with these people? Will they be as hardworking as, will they have the initiative? And you just cannot test people through psychology tests anymore to find out who is committed and who's not. But when they play a game over, say, a couple of days, they really put themselves into the picture.
Yeah, and they show themselves.
Yeah.
They expose themselves.
Yeah.
Mona, hi. You are founder and CEO of Passioners.net, okay? And you asked me, so face-to-face. Well, the face-to-face is in Istanbul, the 18 months. And if you choose the digital business, the specialization 3 weeks will be in Berlin, but there are 3 separate weeks. Did I answer your question? Okay. So we talked about diversity of experience and learning approaches, which is definitely rigorous class discussions. That again, we come back. You learn from each other, from your vast experience, the 7 years of work experience or more that you've had. And therefore, again, your English has to be impeccable so that you can get your points through. Then, before every face-to-face session, there will be a webinar. You will have to prepare for this. You have to prepare for each session. And then there will be a post-webinar. So there will be pre- and post-session activities. You'll be very, very busy. And afterwards, after each session, Jem will ask you for your evaluation in order to improve themselves. Okay. Program. see. 18 full weeks that I have to. Yes, you have to come to Istanbul for
every 5 weeks.
Right. Okay.
Normally, you come in Thursday afternoon and you leave Sunday noon, and 5 weeks between two consecutive sessions, and this takes a year basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, now we're coming to that.
Yeah.
So the official program length is 24 months. So 18 months are the face-to-face sessions, and then the final management project is 6 months. Sometimes students have a hard time finishing it because they're very busy, or they just have a hard time, which we all know what it means. So it can take up to 30 months before you get your diploma.
You said 18 months.
Right.
The first part, but that includes the
specialization.
3 times 30 hours of specialization weeks.
Absolutely.
And they are not consecutive, so there is time in between the consecutive weeks of a specialization. So face-to-face sessions plus specialization sessions
is 18
months, and then you have 6 months to write your project report.
Right.
And if you say, I am unable to finish in 6 months, I thought I could, the university or Grenoble faculty will give you a maximum of another 6 months.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is totally unadvisable, because when you start a project, 6 months later, the project has completely changed.
Yeah. So one module every 5 weeks, we already said this. It will start on a Thursday p.m. and finish on Sunday at around noontime. And of course, the sessions will all be held in 41 North Business School facilities. And of course, breaks and crackers, whatever, are all included.
We serve lunch.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be rubbery chicken on white toast. In Istanbul, people don't eat things like that.
Well, we are in it. Good. We come to the application process. So, of course, when you first get interested in the EMBA, you write us an email. You may go into our website and download the brochure. We will answer you, and then we will maybe have some email exchanges. And then I want to see your CV. I want to see if you are eligible for application. We looked at it. You need to have a bachelor degree. You need to have a minimum of 7 years of full-time work experience. And then, of course, English proficiency, sufficient for GEM. I also want you to write a few lines why you are interested in the GEM EMBA that we are offering, and what your expectations are of once you finish your EMBA. So I look at your CV, I look at your eligibility. If you are eligible, I will invite you for a very casual Skype talk. It will be relaxing, I hope. When I talk to Thailand, I hope, and Saif, I think Saif is also there, that they felt it was comfortable. I don't put you under pressure. And then, one thing comes after the other, and then you feel, okay, I'm decided. I think this is exactly what I want. You have to feel this is what you want. And once you decide this, you will have a fantastic experience.
And they can apply online.
You apply online. I will give you, of course, the link. And if you need any assistance, I'm there to help you. Once you have submitted all your documents, the documents will then be reviewed by GEM's admission board within the 2 weeks. And then you will receive a admission letter. It can be conditional, meaning that there are some documents missing and you need to submit them within a certain deadline. Now, so far we have had some issues with the English, but again, because GEM is a triple accredited business school, they are under extreme pressure, scrutiny from these 3 accreditation bodies. So we need to abide. We are not making things up.
Well,
let's say that.
It's not only Grenoble who does
Of course,
this.
of course not.
If you apply for admission to a good business school, of course they want your transcripts, they want your references, and they want proof that you graduated. They want a transcript that is legible, and if the original transcript is not in English, there must be a certified copy, translation of it. These are nuts and bolts of admissions processes. And Grenoble pays a lot of money to a lot of people to process this paper.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you supply everything but one reference is missing, you get a conditional letter of admission.
Yeah.
If Grenoble is not satisfied with the evidence you have provided to indicate your proficiency in English, they may ask you to get another reference from your boss, let's say, in addition to all the prior assessments of your English proficiency. He or she can add some more light on the subject.
Right.
So, to get a conditional letter of admission is not the end of the world. That's what I'm trying to say. If you complete the missing links or documents, that letter will be replaced by a full admissions letter.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we come to the important part. How much does this thing cost?
No, first the deadline.
Well,
yeah.
Here is the admissions director.
Before we come to that, Mona is asking about visa requirements. Well, visa, Mona, depending on...
Where is she from?
Where are you from? Balhimar? No. Mona, what country are you from? You're a citizen of? Well, normally Turkey does not...
Well, let's talk about this. Turkey is one of the most...
okay, Yemeni, okay.
Yemen, there's no problem at all. Turkey is one of the most lenient countries in the Middle East. They require visas only from UK and the United States. And guess why? Many nationals from the Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia they come to Turkey visa-free, or they go online and register with the e-government just to indicate that they're coming with a passport number and all that and so forth. And I think some countries you have to pay $5 per visa. And in the worst case scenario, I've seen this happen. People come to Istanbul, they don't have a visa, so they queue up in the visa department.
In the airport.
In the airport, which of course takes time, but you can still get a visa just before coming in.
Right.
I don't advise that for anybody in any country, but compared to the Schengen visa requirements of the European Union, coming into Turkey is really a piece of cake.
Okay. They require visa from Yemen. And it takes $120 and 1 week. Okay.
Well, okay. Why is that? Is that because there is an internal war going on in Yemen?
That I don't know. But Mona, also, if you want to do the specialization in Berlin, well, I know we have discussed with GEM admissions officer, and they said that the students would normally get a tourist visa, and that shouldn't cause any problems. I mean, Grenoble École de Management, they get so many students from the Middle East, Africa. They are used to this. So we haven't heard of a student that was not granted a visa to come to the class. I hope we have been able to answer that question. So now
we should look into Yemen.
Yes.
Because in my earlier years when I worked in Saudi Arabia, there was no problem of Yemeni citizens going from Yemen to Saudi Arabia and then to Turkey. So this must be because of the internal war, the tragic internal war that is going on in Yemen. Maybe that's the reason why there is now a visa restriction or even a fee. I've never heard of Turkey requiring $120 for a visa. Maybe that's for Schengen.
Well, yeah, now Mona is saying it's unfortunate because of the war, and if she has to come in 18 times to Turkey, it will be a little costly. So Dilek is saying Ministry of Foreign Affairs page says ordinary passport holders need visa. I will send you an email about it. Okay, so Dilek will be in touch with you, Mona. Okay, now the serious part.
Yeah.
It's about the tuition, and
Well, one of the major advantages of Istanbul cohort is that we've convinced Grenoble École de Management that the fees in the Middle East and Central Asia and so forth should not be as high as they are in Western Europe. Grenoble's same degree, or no, not the same degree, the full-time MBA costs over 40,000 euros.
Yep.
So 25 out of 40, it's not half of it, but close. So the fees are lower in the Istanbul cohort, and this is a major advantage for those who are going to finance their own education.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just writing down. Dilek, are you writing down Mona's email?
Yeah.
Okay. About the visa. Good. Okay. So, if you need more information, well, you can always go on the Grenoble École de Management EMBA website, or you go into our website, 41 North, or you send me the question. If I cannot answer it, I will always find somebody who can answer the question.
So emailing.
So emailing is the best, of course.
As a start. As a start.
Yes.
But all applications are online, so you don't have to mail documents or use courier service and so forth.
Okay. That's it. I think we have had lots of questions, and I hope we the way you asked. Okay, does the fee include? No, it doesn't.
It doesn't include what?
The accommodation.
No, it includes food and drinks during the entire program and lunches.
Yeah.
But it doesn't include dinners. Once in a while, we will, of course, hold special dinners. You'll be invited as guests, but you need to find your own hotel room and, of course, dinners and special expenditures of your own.
Yeah, but Mona, this is also why Istanbul is an attractive place to have 41 North as a campus, because accommodation costs, you can find a big palette of prices, and they are lower than in Europe or in the United States. So yeah, the fees, accommodation fee costs are not included in the tuition. It is only the Grenoble École de Management services that are included in the tuition, and of course the lunches. Any other questions before we finish our webinar? It has been a great pleasure, and thank you very much for your questions. And of course, we are here for you. Final request from me, Dilek, okay? We're waiting. So please do not hesitate. We're here assist you if you decide to apply. We're definitely here. We will hold your hand. Yeah, I know not everybody wanted to do so. So can everybody please write down the names so that we have an idea who participated? Gulnara, thank you. And you are from Kazakhstan, right? Yes, excellent. Look forward to your CV. I saw your CV, but we will schedule a Skype talk. Yes. You're welcome, Tariq. A big pleasure. Whatever more questions, just don't hesitate.
Yeah, after the webinar, if questions pop into your mind, just send an email.
Yes, Onur. I'm waiting for your CV. I know you're working on it. I guess Saif Fittin is not there. Okay. Then, Celine, thank you. Okay. Okay. You will, thank you. You will, of course, viewer 9, whoever you are, I don't remember. You will receive, you'll get the link to the webinar again, I suppose. Right, Tamer and Dilek? Okay, excellent. So, viewer 9, is that okay? Excellent. Thank you very much, Thailand. Thank you, everybody, and I wish you a nice evening. Bye.